What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Harry Potter Quidditch Champions yet again. Talk about two different things. We'll start with the newest video that they kind of posted a few days ago on Twitter, about a minute-and-a-half trailer where they unveiled some schools and really brought it to life kind of for the first time, right? So I think they're doing a pretty darn good job on social media. They've made mistakes. There's definitely been some things the last couple of weeks. I want to say I don't feel like I pioneered it, but I do think I was one of the only people kind of talking about the whole bot versus, human drama that invaded the Discord and invaded social media. But besides that, I think they've honestly done a really good job taking a page out of Hogwarts Legacy's, handbook and, doing basically daily kind of rollouts on social media at this point. I think they're doing a really good job. So, and in fact, actually, let me quickly add on to that. They actually responded to somebody in the last Twitter post, of this video where somebody was complimenting them on their rollout of this info, and they said there's more to come. So we got about a month, a little bit less, I think, 3 weeks until the game actually comes out. So I imagine they're just going to keep on going to near daily, uploads at this point. So I want to say, and I have been a defender of one specific aspect of this game from the beginning. For the first time that we ever saw this game, and it is largely the visuals. I know there's people that talk about like the Sims comparisons and stuff, and there are people that just flat out hate the visuals. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. I'm here to tell you that I can respect that if you respect my opinion. Sincerely, like truly, I get it. I get people not liking it. I will say for me, it's more of I really like the environment. Can we talk about the environment, right? So we get the two schools, and let me just say, like Durmstrang specifically, holy dear Jesus. I'm a fan of water, so like seeing the boat, and basically you're just like in the middle of an ocean type situation, water everywhere. Although even the first school, you look and you got the little kind of ponds on the outskirts as you're flying around. You can look, big water guy here, and water is implemented quite beautifully. But I mean, to be honest, right? Again, I get it. I get where people are coming from, and the Sims type thing, and you look at like the character models, does it look like that? It kind of does. Like, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. However, in terms of just kind of nailing the aesthetic of like the stadium, I'm going to call them stadiums. I've been doing that for a while. I don't know like the official like Quidditch pitch. I don't know what the official like name is. I don't know. I just kind of lean towards the stadium. I think they look awesome. I really do. I think the lighting looks great. I've said it before when they show, I mean, again, this has been like near daily uploads at this point, but every time I see it and kind of see more extended looks, like the first couple times we were kind of looking at like the minute details, like throwing it and, kind of like breaking down just the gameplay. But now that we're getting more, not extended looks, but we're getting a longer look at it, right? The colors really pop. That's like the number one thing that stands out to me. I mean, I could play a black and white game, but I mean, I really do like the colors. I think the colors and just the environment in general. And I think I even tweeted that as well, where it's like, the people that I think I saw a guy that works at the studio that said like he put years of work into those stadiums or arenas. It looks good. I don't know if it's the best part of the game. The best part of the game should be the gameplay, right? I mean, if the game has any chance to stay around, it's got to be because of the gameplay. But you're going to be looking at it quite a bit. So to have everything that you're looking around you as you're flying around, it looks really, really nice. So I'm really impressed by just the visual. And I think the more, and I don't even know what kind of style. I want to say like pudgy, like there's a bit of like emphasis on like the faces and like the character model. I don't know. I'm just thinking of like what is the Sims actual style, of like visuals. Again, I'm not like super opposed to it, and I think it works really, really well all the way, around, like when you're just looking at your peripherals and whatnot. So yeah, just want to kind of shout that out. Seeing the schools, I mean, I think they did a really, I'm not here to like quote the books and say, oh, they messed up this little thing or that little thing. I think generally people are pretty happy with what they've seen so far. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. The last couple videos, we were a bit negative on the game here, but that's okay because I want to be honest. If there's things that I like about the game, I will shout it out. If there's things that I don't like about the game, I will shout it out, and I'll just be honest with you guys. The other part, I actually want to fix a mistake that I've actually been saying, and it's important to do this, I think specifically maybe for me, because I have said it so many times. So one of the things I've talked about in terms of like the longevity of this game, stuff like that, is, okay, well, it really only has all of September for PlayStation Plus. Well, that's actually not true. Now, I don't know when they decided to like really emphasize this, but I actually got, I think, some sort of press release, and you might be able to find this as well. I'm not going to show, I just don't know what like I'm allowed to show versus not show. And they have made it clear that the game is playable through PS Plus so long as you have PS Plus. I want to give myself like a little benefit of the doubt because I'll kind of explain my thinking of it. You think of PS Plus, there's two different ways PS Plus works, right? One is that every month you get like the handful of games, right? You could download them or add to your library, I should say, to be very specific. You add to your library and then you can download. And as long as you do that first step, when they leave PS Plus at the end, right, you still have that game. There's a lot of games, the majority of games are not like that. They are in the service, and as long as you have the service, then you're good. There is also games that kind of come and go, right? Well, there's also games that just have contracts. Maybe they're there for 6 months or whatever. So this game, for the longest time, I thought was that second one. I thought that it was only in September. You play it through PS Plus, and then you're kind of done. And it's actually why I've talked about, like, the game needs to make a big impact in September, because if you have a lot of people playing it for free, then once that ends, you want to convert them, right? You want people to buy the game. Well, turns out, as long as you have PS Plus, you can play the game. That's the short of it. So if you just scroll through the video and you get to this part, that's the news. And I'm sorry about that. I saw there was one person in all of these. I've made like 10, 12 videos on this game. I think more than most people. And I saw one person that said, I don't think that's how it works. And I was like, well, I've been saying it this whole time, and nobody's ever like called me out on it except for you. So I want to say that one person, if you're watching, you were right. So you can, if you add the game, right, to your library and you have the game at any point in September, you have PS Plus, you can play it for free, and you can play it for free going into the future, unless you stop with PS Plus. If you stop with PS Plus and you don't have the subscription, you can't play the game. So that is how it works. Honestly, for the game's numbers, like for the player count, that's rather smart. I mean, like a game can survive longer, right, with more players. So you let as many PS Plus play. Look, and not everybody's going to take advantage of it, right? There's 45 million PS Plus players. It's a very small fraction of them that will actually convert. You might get under 1 million that actually tries any individual game. Sometimes more, sometimes even less. Sometimes you might have maybe 100 or 200,000 of those 40 plus million that actually try a game. But to leave it like that long term, you're just having more players. So I do think it's a smart move in terms of like extending the life of the game. I do wonder, I've always wondered this, and I'm waiting one day for like somebody to do some sort of investigation. I don't know why it's such a secret. What are the contracts? What are the payments? Because on the flip side of things, in terms of the studio, in terms of WB, all this stuff, if the majority of people, and I will say that I think the majority of PlayStation players, are going to be doing it for free. They're going to be doing it through PS Plus. Heck, I would do it through PS. Why would you pay for it if you can just do it through PS Plus and you could do it forever, right? So, okay, well, how much does Sony give them to like absorb that hit? Because if you were going to sell 500,000 copies on PlayStation, and then those 500,000 people just get it for free, you have literally lost that much. You're only relying on the contract that you signed to put your game on PS Plus. You're counting on that contract to make up for all the sales that you lost because it's on a subscription service. And I've wondered that for Xbox. I've wondered that for everybody for years. And nobody has ever, there's been some rumors that like Xbox pays some like 20 million, some 10, some 50, but we never know exactly how much each of these games and each of these studios make. So that's just, I never expect to get an answer to this question, but I would love to know what that contract is like, right? How much money is PlayStation giving them to offset the majority of PlayStation players that are now not going to buy the game, but are just going to get it through the streaming service. So I'll just leave it there, but I want to talk about that a little bit. So that's, I look at that as a good thing. It might not be good for them, like depending on the money situation and the contract. So like maybe they're taking kind of a loss on that end. From the consumer point of view, hey, it's a free game that you get to play for free so long as you're paying the subscription. I guess, is it really free then if you're paying the subscription? But you know what I mean. From the consumer side, like from my side of things, hey, that's fantastic. You never have to get the game if you take advantage of PS Plus. You're making a lot of value there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.